Hey there, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I'm John, if you've never come to this before, and I'm still John if you have. So, I finally read Seconds by Bryan Lee O'Malley, and unlike most of the time when I tell you about something I've watched, with a book I can show you that, yes, there it is. I have, in fact, attained it. Seconds is the latest graphic novel by artist Bryan Lee O'Malley. And if you don't know who he is, he created Scott Pilgrim. You may be familiar with the Scott Pilgrim books or the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World based on it. I am not quite strong enough in my hipster foo to say that I read all the books before I learned about the movie, especially since they were already advertising the movie before the last book came out. But I did manage to read the last book before the movie came out, and yeah, I cheated by reading ahead, I admit, but I kind of wanted to know more about what it was like. But Seconds is a new thing, and Seconds is filled with the kind of, I guess you could call it the Bryan Lee O'Malley style. And I think it's a really good book, and I think that you need to give it a try if it's your kind of thing. Now, I will put a bit of a content warning on it. It's not... The content, there's... the stuff, when there is adult content in it, I don't think it really takes away from the story at all. But it is there, and it's noticeable. So this probably isn't a book to share with your cousin if you go to a family reunion, or with your grandmother if you go to a family reunion. But apart from that, it's a really shareable book. It's a book that's so tempting to share, even though there is a content warning. I would say that it's a modern Fable. It's about a... and if you're not familiar with how I do these things, spoiler warning. So if you want to read it first, stop the video now. Yes, there is something in the cup. I'm not pretending. Spoilers have been warned. It's a book where there's this... the main character is named Katie. She's my age, 29. And it's weird. Whenever I read a book that Bryan Lee O'Malley does, I'm always really close to the age of the main character. Katie is 29, just like I am right now. So I'll let people in the future do math. But I wonder if this is going to be a trend going forward. Will I always be the same age as Bryan Lee O'Malley's characters? Will Bryan Lee O'Malley always write characters who are slightly younger than him enough so that I hit that demographic exactly? But anyway, Katie, ignoring that question, Katie is more of a success than I am in my life, but she still feels like she's not. She is an accomplished chef. She runs a restaurant, and the restaurant is named Seconds. And she feels like she wants more out of life. And not just more necessarily. She wants the choices that she's made in life to be right. She wants the results of all the choices, the consequences of everything that she's chosen to be better. And the book starts in an okay place. There are some annoyingly little things that she would change if she had the chance. And she's given that chance, in a way. There's a figure... I know I said spoiler warning, but I don't want to give too many spoilers. There's a figure, a kind of impish, fairy-like being with big, poofy, crazy blonde hair who appears on her dresser one night and tells her that if things go wrong, to remember to look in the dresser. And in the dresser, she finds a notebook and a pen, and the notebook has the instructions, write your mistake, ingest one mushroom, go to sleep, wake anew. And yes, it is a story where eating mushrooms is a key to the magic. So I don't know where you are on the Mario Brothers camp, but yeah, mushrooms. They're obviously there is a reference to the fact that she is a chef who only uses the finest of ingredients. But the magical mushrooms that she ingests, if she does all the steps in the right order, and if she does them on the premises of Seconds, of the restaurant that she's started, which is also the building where she lives, because she has like a little apartment above the restaurant. As long as she does all 4 of those steps in order, she can change a mistake that she's made, or she can change something about how she acted. And at the beginning, something happens that causes someone to get hurt, and she remembers the instructions, because at first, you know, crazy person in the middle of the night just appears, tells you something, you think it's a dream, and she forgot all about it. But then later, after someone gets hurt, she says, oh, maybe something has gone wrong, let me look. And she looks, and sure enough, that's where the notebook and pen and mushroom are. So she tries it, and the next day the person is okay. There's no injury, no one's hurt anymore. The other issue is that she has her eyes on another building to start another restaurant. She wants to start a restaurant named Katie's. And in the first restaurant she started, Seconds, it didn't quite go the way she wanted. She didn't have as much direct control over the business as she would like. It wasn't hers, and she wanted it to be hers. And she knows that when she starts this new restaurant, she'll have a chance to do that. But things keep going bad with this new restaurant. The building is... they actually reference... Well, they use the word money pit. I know that's an actual word, but it always makes me think of the movie Money Pit. Yes, I have seen the Money Pit, so no, sorry, I won't be doing a So I Finally about Money Pit, as much as I would love to. It's a great movie. But the building is a money pit. There's just stuff that keeps going wrong with building and rebuilding it. So she has all these things in her life that she'd like to change, and unfortunately she only had 1 mushroom. But then situations transpire for her to acquire more mushrooms, and the little impish creature, this weird mystery woman, shows up again and says, you know, you're not supposed to have more than 1 mushroom. 1 person, 1 mushroom. There are rules. And Katie's like, yeah, whatever. Well, not quite like that. She understands, yeah, okay, yeah, rules, I got it. And so she only uses a mushroom if it feels like it's absolutely necessary, except for, you know, a few times. But basically, as she keeps changing things manage to not be perfect still. So she keeps changing more things. And she's not really sure what's what with a lot of things, because there are, like, pre-consequences to the things she changes. Like, whenever she has changed something, in addition to one choice being different, it also means that another choice of hers is different too, and other people have acted in different ways. So she's altering things without realizing it as she makes these choices. And it keeps changing, sometimes more than she wants, sometimes less than she wants. And she has to figure out exactly where on the scale that she's okay with. How much do I want to change? How much do I want to leave alone? What is safe to change? And everything is, well, it goes wrong sometimes. And it progresses in a perfect Fable fairy tale style. It goes exactly the way a story like this needs to go. I don't know if this book is going to gain quite the following that the Scott Pilgrim books did, because the Scott Pilgrim books are great. I love the Scott Pilgrim books. I didn't care for the first one as much because it didn't quite fit the theme of the others, but all 6 Scott Pilgrim books are definitely worth reading. And I think this book is definitely worth reading, but I don't think that this book is going to have the same cultural impact that Scott Pilgrim did. And part of me is sad about that, because I think this book is technically superior, even though the Scott Pilgrim books are more in-your-face, wild, music, action, fun. That was awesome talk that I did there. Yeah. But on the other hand, maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe Seconds will become another bizarre graphic novel phenomenon. And it's still relatively new. It was so new that I almost said that I wasn't going to qualify this for So I Finally, but I know I'd missed it by enough for it to fall into my... I think it qualifies as my red box zone of finaliness. That normally only applies for, say, movies, but I figured it was worth talking about. So, go read Seconds. And again, mild content warning. Nothing major. And the book did hit home for me. I mean, I said I'm the same age as the main character, and there are a lot of things that people of my age and Katie's age ask, did I make the right choice in life? Am I on the path I want to be on? What can I do now to change? Am I in a rut? How can I get that perfect life that I want? And a lot of these questions are asked, and Katie has been given a trick to get it without having to worry about many consequences, except she does have to worry about consequences in a weird way. Seems like there's no escaping that. Sorry, Katie. Maybe next time. Oh, and I think I saw a couple Scott Pilgrim folks in there, including, I think I saw Scott and Ramona in one panel. I think I also saw Stephen Stills and someone else in another panel, but that might have just been my imagination trying to look for cameos in the background. Yeah. If I say much more, though, I think it'll start to ruin it for some people. Anyway, I'm John Little. I'm starting to run out of time here, and I have a lot of root beer left to finish. So, again, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you again the next time I finally do something else. Take care.